Good morning, everybody. The Municipal Planning Commission is conducting this meeting in person and via conference call in accordance with Municipal Government Act Section 199. Council chambers is now open for public attendance in person. However, members may still join meetings remotely using our current teleconference process. As per Wheatland County Policy 7.13, members of the public are not permitted to speak unless the commission agrees to hear from them. If the commission agrees to allow the public to speak, the chair will call upon specific individuals at that time. Please note this call is being recorded and will be uploaded to our website and or social media. For any individuals using the conference call line, we ask that you mute your phone to eliminate background noise. Everyone has a right to be present at Municipal Planning Commission meetings. Any attendees that are considered disruptive to the progression of this meeting may be removed at the discretion of the chair as per Municipal Government Act Section 198. We thank you for your cooperation and understanding. Due to the hybrid nature of this meeting, I'll call a roll call vote to see who's here. Member Eichert, present. Member Kester. Here. Member Laprise.
I'm here.
Member Clausen.
I'm here.
Very good. Is there anybody else on the line? Okay, Member Larson?
Here.
Oh, fantastic. We have an agenda in front of us. Is there any additions or deletions to be made?
I'll move the agenda as presented then.
Very good. Member Eichert, I'll call the vote. Member Eichert, yes. Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Laprise?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Very good. We have a copy of, we have the unapproved minutes from December 12th meeting, 2012. Are there any changes that were noted? If not, MPC's wishes.
I'll move the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Member Kester. I'll call the vote. Member Eichert, yes. Member Kester? In favor. Member Laprise?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Those are passed. We'll move on to development permit applications. Start at DP 2023-190.
Good morning, MPC. Rachel Hanson-Beaton with Pine Development Services to present the first two development permit applications. The first application is DP 2023-190 for a mixed-use building for retail space with residential suite above. The property is located within the hamlet of Rosebud, 100 meters west of Main Street on the north side of Martin Avenue. The application has been circulated internally and to the adjacent surrounding properties +1 as shown on page 20. Responses received can be found on pages 17, 18, 24, and 25. Alberta Health Services at the time of redesignation said, if used for accommodation purposes, the secondary suite may need to meet the Alberta Public Health Act, Housing Regulation AR 173/99, and a minimum housing and health standards. Fire Services stated that a fire inspection for the commercial space will be required. Manager of Operations stated that he doesn't anticipate any issues relying on street parking for the proposed uses, as the amount of vehicle traffic coming solely to visit the business will be extremely low. They could dedicate a spot within their driveway for residential parking if necessary, but they believe the street parking would suffice for a single car visit. Economic Development stated this is a good fit with our economic development goals and growing the tourism industry in the county. Two letters of support from adjacent property owners can be found on pages 24 and 25. Please let me know if you'd like me to read them.
I do not believe that's necessary.
Page 21 shows the site plan. This application is for a mixed-use building within an existing dwelling to accommodate commercial uses on the main floor and residential uses on the upper level. In July 2023, Council approved the redesignation of the parcel from Hamlet Commercial to Hamlet Mixed Use District. In 2014, a variance had been granted for an addition to the dwelling and a relaxation to the east and west side yard setback requirements for the Hamlet Commercial District. With the recent rezoning, the building now meets all the setbacks required by the Hamlet Mixed Use District. The proposed commercial use includes model railroad display made available for public viewing with retail sales of model trains and train-related items. The upper floor of the building will be used as a one-bedroom residential unit for short-term accommodations. The two owners will be the only employees initially. Operating hours will coordinate with the hours of the Rosebud Theatre. Pages 22 and 23 contain photos of the Rosebud ASP future land use concept and pictures of the constructed building. Some considerations: this application does follow the municipal development plan, the Rosebud area structure plan, and the land use bylaw. In conclusion, staff recommend the Municipal Planning Commission approved development permit DP 2023-190 for mixed-use building for retail space with a residential suite above, with conditions 1 through 10 found on page 14. MPC has the standard 3 response options found on page 18. And this concludes my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. MPC's wishes?
I just have number 7, the condition, no business-related trash or any other item or something. I can't see a lot of trash coming from his business. And the residential bed and breakfast type thing, I think all that trash and all the bed and breakfast go in our waste things. How they're going to keep it separate, I don't know, and I can't see it being that much trash. It's built. So if I could, I would like to take that condition out. I don't think it'd be onerous on the county for sure. It'd be onerous on him to try and separate the trash from upstairs from the downstairs where he's living. And with that, I'll move Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2023-190 for mixed use building subject to the following conditions, and that's eliminating number 7.
Thank you, Member Kester. Discussion?
I have a couple questions. So I was not too sure whether, is anybody going to be living here or it's just a B&B? Like, is there we talk about it being a residential and offering different options for choices for residents. But I just am not clear.
Yeah, I think could be A and B, but I'm thinking he's hoping for more shorter term, like somebody coming for a week or 2 weeks to stay there and explore the countryside. And it is big enough by student standards, because a lot of students live in something. It's pretty nice up there. It's a nice apartment. It's he's done a nice job of it for sure.
So no full-time residents?
I don't think so. At the best, it would be a student, but I don't think that's not their wish. They're short-term visitors.
Through the chair, our bylaw doesn't distinguish between the two.
Oh, our residents or our short-term residents?
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
so they could do either way.
Okay. And I was just thinking about the trash. I mean, I guess if he was going to get rid of a whole model train setup, that would be quite a lot of trash that you probably wouldn't want in.
He won't be getting rid of any of his trains.
Okay.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. Member Reichert's in favor. Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Laprise,
In favor.
Member Clausen,
In favor.
Member Larison.
In favor.
Very good. That is passed. We'll move on to DP 2023-191.
Good morning again. Rachel Anson Beaton with Planning Development Services to present development permit DP 2023-191 for a dwelling accessory. This property is located approximately 8.05 kilometers west of the town of Strathmore, 1.6 kilometers north of Highway 1 on the east side of Range Road 263. The application has been circulated internally into the Western Irrigation District and to adjacent surrounding properties within a 1 mile radius as shown on page 32. There were no responses from adjacent property owners. The WID has no concerns. Agriculture, Environment, and the Safety Coast Technician did share comments found on page 29. They both stated that for the demolition of the existing garage, it is important to gain a demolition building permit and to have a comprehensive cleanup plan to be mindful of the surrounding environment. Page 33 shows the site plan. This application is to construct a 1,456 square foot residential suite on the upper floor of a new detached garage, which will be constructed in place of an existing garage. The parcel currently has an existing 1,980 square foot residence on site, which will be the primary dwelling. The new dwelling will share the existing well, and the new septic tank will be installed north of the new structure. The application meets all requirements of the land use bylaw. No variances have been requested. A permitted home-based business type 3 for an engine rebuilding and repairs also operates from this parcel. Pages 34 and 35 contain photos of the new building and the existing residence. Some considerations: the application aligns with the municipal development plan, and the land use bylaw. In conclusion, staff recommends that Municipal Planning Commission, In conclusion, staff recommend that Municipal Planning Commission approve development permit DP 2023-191 for a new garage with an accessory dwelling, with conditions 1 through 6 found on page 26 and 27. MPC has a standard 3 responses as found on page 30, and this concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. MPC's wishes?
I'll move that Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2023-191 for a new garage with an accessory dwelling, subject to the following conditions 1 through 6.
Thank you, Member Kester. Discussion? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the vote. Member Eichert is in favor. Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Laprise?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Thank you very much. That is passed. We will move on to DP 2023-192.
Good morning, I'm Suzanne Hayes, Development Officer with Wheatland County. This is the third application this morning, beginning on page 36 of the agenda package. It is DP 2023-192 for agricultural support services for the sale of tack saddles, feed, and supplies. On page 42, we have the location map and the circulation map. The location is, let me just look at that. Sorry, I didn't make a note of that. The location is 1.6 kilometers west of the town of Strathmore, immediately northwest of the intersection of Range Road 255 and Highway 1 on the west side of Range Road 255. We circulated the application to surrounding landowners within 1 mile. We didn't receive any responses. We also circulated to agencies, to Alberta Transportation, were circulated during the redesignation phase, and they did stipulate that a roadside development permit was required, so the applicant has already applied for that. The Western Irrigation District had no concerns. We circulated internally. Fire Services said a fire inspection would be required. Economic Development thought it was a good fit for the county's economic development goals. And the Manager of Operations, there was a TIA completed during the redesignation, and one thing that was noted was that the road approach didn't meet the county standard for a commercial operation. It wasn't quite wide enough. So the applicant did have the approach inspected by our staff, and they did say that it might make it difficult for incoming and outbound traffic to navigate simultaneously. However, the widening of the approach, an additional 0.9 meters per side, will likely not result in enough of a benefit for the cost required to complete the work, and would also require the applicant to widen and replace the gate. So they did recommend, the Transportation Department recommended that the approach be left as is, and that an application for upgrading or widening would be undertaken if determined required by the applicant. The Agriculture and Environment Department did make a comment about the 12.6 acres of land being converted from ag use to a business use. And the Community Services Coordinator had reviewed the landscaping on site and concluded that the parcel already has extensive landscaping and screening, and so didn't suggest that any further landscaping be completed. On pages 43 to 45, we have the site plan and some aerial photos. So the business proposes to operate in an existing 6,000 square foot building to be used partially for hay storage, with the east portion to be used for the sale of tack saddles, feed, and other supplies and merchandise. In December of 2023, Council approved the redesignation of 14 acres of the subject lands from Ag General to rural business to allow for this development permit to proceed. It is anticipated approximately 25 customers per week will attend, with most sales being conducted online. There will be 4 employees. The TIA did anticipate that the business would generate approximately 40 vehicle trips daily. When compared to typical retail commercial developments, the business would not be a large trip generator. So no upgrades to any roads were recommended. Excuse me. The applicants are proposing to install a non-illuminated wooden sign, and that is going to require the approval from Alberta Transportation and the County Transportation Department. Some illustrations of the proposed existing building are on page 46, and some photos of the approach and looking west from Range Road 255 are found on page 47. So staff are recommending approval of this permit subject to the conditions, which are found on page 37 and 38. And that is that MPC approved the application with the conditions including the requirement for a building permit, fire inspection, documentation from Alberta Transportation, and signage details. And that concludes my presentation. The standard 3 options are found on page 40 for MPC to consider. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Suzanne. I'll make the recommendation that MPC Planning Commission approve DP 2023-192 for agricultural support service business, subject to conditions 1 through 12. Discussion. Yes, Member Kester.
You said that Alberta government has to issue a roadside permit. Is that where they would issue an accessory road? Some of our developments along the highway, they have to be able to build a road or set land aside or.
Yeah, typically, if there's no access from a municipal road, that may be the case, but they didn't recommend that in this case because this property does have access from Range Road 255.
Okay. Because they're supposed to be freeway status and they were always in the future going to build a road there.
Yeah, and I think that came up during the redesignation, but I think they decided that it was going to be okay for now. They didn't raise that as a concern.
Okay.
Any more discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. Member Eichert is in favor. Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Laprise?
In favor?
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
Yay.
Thank you. That is passed. We'll now go on to subdivision applications, and the first one is SD 2023-027.
Jessica Russell presenting subdivision application in SD 2023-027 to adjust the boundaries between the southwest and southeast quarters of Section 7, Township 26, Range 23, west of the 4th Meridian. The subject lands are located 3.7 kilometers southwest of the village of Rockyford, immediately west of Range Road 235 and east of Range Road 240. The purpose of the proposal is to adjust the boundaries of the subject parcels in order to facilitate continued agricultural uses. The application proposes to adjust the boundaries between the subject parcels, resulting in a plus or minus 82.42 hectare parcel, Lot 1, and a plus or minus 38.02 hectare parcel, Lot 2. A plus or minus 17.7 hectare portion of land is proposed to transfer from Lot 2 to Lot 1. Lot 1 is accessed by an existing approach from Range Road 240, and Lot 2 is accessed by an existing approach from Range Road 235. Lots 1 and 2 will remain agricultural with no plans for further development. The proposal is consistent with the South Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the Regional Growth Management Strategy, the Municipal Development Plan, and the Land Use Bylaw. Pursuant to the Municipal Government Act, municipal reserve is not required. Section 663B of the MGA states that reserves are not required if the land is to be subdivided into lots of 16 hectares or more and used for agricultural purposes. Lots 1 and 2 are greater than 16 hectares and will be used for continued agricultural uses. Therefore, municipal reserves for lots 1 and 2 are not required. Administration is recommending that the Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2023-027, subject to the conditions noted in the planning report. This concludes the presentation of subdivision application SD 2023-027. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. MPC's wishes.
I move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2023-027, subject to the following conditions 1 through 6.
Thank you, Member Kester. Discussion? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the vote. Member Eichert's in favor. Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Laprise?
In favor?
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
That is passed. I believe there are no other planning matters in front of us, so I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you very, very much.